So church bashani lelo kanshi. Church bashani, but my good civil servants. Church bashani tamwachi mbusha kolero. Mwanaka papene. You got tired already that you couldn't wake me up. Somebody woke me up today. Oh Lord. I need to go and cut my hair, but I've been so broke mwewantu. Bishukata tuman tume nakufe nika 10 pin sure. Spending my dollars, recover. Spending my dollars. Imishishi fe eka fe mishishi ukia mkuvea. Ni $50, $49, ni $50. $50 ndawe relation atimo $50. You know what $50 means? Me I'm a Zambian. $50 ukia mkuvea mishishi. Ngana ukwataka $100. Ndara. $100 tempia mdara. 10 pia $100, but $100 Zambia nitu pin chakuti. But ngolenda wasangati washinguluka ulisa mkuwera wasangati now unaola ka $300. $100 waingirira mo $300 ya kwisa. Ero waisa chita convert $300 ku Zambia waingirira mo. So nishnaula almost 8 pin. So anyway, I'm not going to talk too much. I won't pretend. I mean, I was in deep sleep until somebody just woke me up. So yeah, ka brain kala wako slow figure. But the main issue that I wanted us to engage on is this issue of the Concord. This issue of the Concord. We are seemingly going back and forth on the issue of the Concord. But the background to that is that we have had a number of cases brought before court relating to Edgar Lungu's eligibility. And it was resolved that Edgar Lungu was eligible. I know that even myself, I was one of those people that contested that issue of eligibility. I did engage, here and there. But at the end of the day, the Concord ruled, and that's how Edgar Lungu stood in 2021, because the Concord ruled that he was eligible. Now, there is, the judgment that came, especially at Palast, was quite thorough. The judgment that came out Palast was quite thorough. It actually resolved some of those issues that we are talking about, because in the previous constitution, I think is it article what? Is it 85 or whatever? I can't remember which article that is. It was saying that, you can only be elected twice. And Edgar Lungu was elected twice. So, therefore, whatever. But the Concord did resolve that matter by saying that Edgar Lungu was in between. He was a transitional president, coming from the old, going to the new. Okay? And the court ruled that it would be unfair, to deem Edgar Lungu, as not eligible, because, it was like in between, in between. The new constitution was allowing him. The new constitution was allowing him. The old constitution was not allowing him. So the president, the Concord said, is in between. Is in between. Is in between the old constitution and the new constitution. So how do we treat him? And they said, in the interest of justice, we look at the number of years that he served. They were not a term when he was finishing President Sarkozy's term. Okay? So it would be unfair for us if we say, no, you elected twice, that's it. So, to be fair to him, since that was not a term and he's a transitional president, he's in between, we will take him that the first term was not a full term, and therefore he will contest. So the Concord really, the judgment, to those of us who read it at that point, we do agree. And because they did now consider him, the Concord did consider the circumstances. They looked at the law and they looked at the circumstances. They looked at Edgar Lungu as being in between the old constitution, which was saying only twice, and the new constitution, which was saying, no, it has to be a term. Okay, now this person is in between. How do we treat him? Should we treat him, just for what like the constitution say, the old constitution, or should we consider the new constitution? Then they said, we have to look at him as a transitional president. And that is the basis on which they considered Edgar Lungu. So they did rule that yes, he qualifies. They did acknowledge what the old constitution said, and they looked at also what the new constitution was saying. It is from that they ended up deciding to say, no, Edgar Lungu, it will be unfair, it will be unjust to disenfranchise him. Because no, the constitution said no, it will be unfair, it will be unjust. And that's how they said Edgar Lungu is eligible. And I think a precedence was set, in future, of where if a person finds himself or herself as a transitional leader, they did set a precedence. So that is the situation on that. And I have seen problem by UPND. You don't want to reason. That's it. You don't want to listen to others. You don't want. Because you don't want Edgar Lungu to stand. You don't want to listen to what others are saying. I just saw Padinan Ken Dumbo did explain, and I'm sure you read through or you watched the video. You heard what he said. But I was seeing some of the comments, how he was being abused. Hey, what? I mean, the guy was being reasonable. And he explained it in a way that really, I don't know who can do it better than him. He clearly says, don't be emotional. Don't be emotional. Be objective. Put your emotions aside and look at things for what they are. But UPND, no. You only want what is reasonable to you is what you want. Even in opposition, that's why Imowa UPND, you want to describe how people should operate according to you. You want to describe how men of God should conduct themselves. It is you. You want to prescribe, that's the word, Nabuka. You want to prescribe how a priest should be. You want to prescribe how a pastor should be. You want to prescribe how an opposition political party leader should be. Chiruvatayari is not a good political leader because he doesn't support Aka in the Ichirema, because he doesn't agree with you. You just want, if somebody doesn't agree with you, nishtafiwombe, nishtemuntuyo, nishmwalamu tukamwalamu imina. I mean, some of us, it's not that we don't agree with it's not that we agree with everything. No, we don't agree with some of these things. Like, for example, John Chagwa, what he said, some time back, I didn't agree with him. you know. But I did criticize him respectively. I did criticize him respectively, giving my side of how I look at Edgar Lungu, okay, and where Edgar Lungu was coming, you know. And he came back. I did a response to say, look, this video is being circulated, you know, like I said it recently, and it's being circulated out of context. You see, that is how democracy should be. You should be able to give your view, another one should be able to respond. No, you don't. When you say something, somebody, you don't agree with somebody, yeah. Instead of dealing with the issue, you will go, start insulting from his ancestors. Hey, your shani, your father should have used the condom. Hey, what? Eh? If you're maybe that mwapangwa shani kanshba UPND, mwapangwa shani. Allow people to, you know, exercise their freedom. Allow people to have an opinion. Allow people to say what they think. Not to agree with you. Allow people to do that. Eh? So, issue a concord. Unless our judges, they succumb to, you know, the whims of the UPND. But otherwise, the issue of eligibility for Edgar Lungu is done. It is settled. And from where I stand, there is nothing that is going to stop Edgar Lungu from being on the ballot. There is nothing. Nothing is going to stop Edgar Lungu from being on the ballot. And I know that the UPND will try to do something foolish. But whatever you are going to do, rest assured that you'll just be causing confusion. You'll be causing confusion. You'll be causing confusion in society. You'll be causing confusion to governance. Yeah? In society, a lot of people will not be happy. Then, in terms of administration, I mean, how are you going to treat the last election? You know, so I have come back on it to talk about it because it was an issue that was being debated. Hey, whatever. Hey, because in the last judgment, the judges were favoring Edgar Lungu. The judges were whatever. Okay. Unfortunately, if they made a mistake, they made a mistake. The issue is closed. They can't go back. They just can't go back. And I'm sure even Wamumba Malira, Nawamunarula, they know that this issue, they can't just go back. They can't go back. I'll open phone lines already, and people are free to bring in whatever issues, because Nshakste pretend that Nimbuka, but I'll allow people to call in. You can call in and discuss whatever issue that you want to raise. I will give it to you. Today, I think when I'm mental whatever, mental stress, it makes you more tired than the physical stress. Today, nachwako stress there, no? Lero mpashande. Mpamande. Mpamande lero. No, mpadius. Mpamande. Lero nachwako stressed. Nachwako stressed panon. So, somehow I was a little bit stressed, and then I did a bit of, I didn't swim actually, I didn't swim. So you can call in now, Is my, whatever, yeah, it's okay, because somebody just called me to wake me up, so it's working. Let me get it juice. Oh, Lord. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Good evening, President Dali. How are you?
Fine, fine. How are you, sir?
I'm good, good.
Talk to
Yes,
me.
President Dali. So I wanted to just find out and clarify on this matter on eligibility. So going by like the logic the Concord used to rule President Lungu, does it does it mean that, let's say, President Hakainde Hichilema steps down for whatever reason? We understand that his running mate and vice president, Montalenda Lumango, then takes over, isn't it? Because there cannot be an election if anything happens to the current president.
Yeah.
So I want to understand, does that mean the president, the current president now, can use that to his advantage and, let's say, he can step down for whatever reason? Maybe he can claim that he's sick, or maybe the pressure is too much or whatever, and then Mutalena Lumango takes over, yes? And then turns around, and then the president turns around and says, I never finished that first term, so I want to run again for a third term. Please, maybe just help clarify on that point.
Well,
I don't know if it makes sense.
according to the new constitution, it is prescribed. It is prescribed how long one must rule for it to be considered a term. So, if, for example, somebody is elected and serves only for a year, and for some reason, this person resigns. I will need to check. I will need to read. I will need to read that interpretation. If that person resigns, can he come back to say, "Well, I didn't serve a full term"?
I didn't serve the full term.
Yeah, I didn't serve a full term, so I want to contest again. I think.
Yeah.
The issue, the difference there is that this person is a substantive person. Is not the one taking over. You get the point? So I will need to check, because there is a difference here. Somebody who is taking over and somebody who is substantive. So if somebody who is substantive, for some reason, he resigns, can he come back to say, no, I didn't serve a full term? I think that is something that I need to check. I won't pretend that I have an answer to that. I think I need to consult, and I'm sure those people who are listening, can help. If somebody, a substantive person, runs for wins presidency, rules for 1 year, can he come back later and say, no, I didn't finish a full term? I think that one I need to check. But if it is for somebody that is taking over, it is very clear that that would not be a term. As long as it's less than 3 years, that is whatever. But for the substantive, that one needs to be checked. But it's a good question that you have posed. I'll check it.
No, thank you, President Ali. We'll be waiting for your feedback.
Yeah. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, on the issue of a term, the minimum of our term is 3 years. Yes, so meaning that if someone is for 3 years, it means that he or she has served the term. So, in an eventuality where the president resigns and the running mate serves for 3 years, it means it's a term. So, coming to the issue of the Concord, it would be very unfortunate for the judges handling the case. Because in an event that they overrule what they ruled already, it means it has shown clearly justice nomuserera kwakawa. Meaning that when the government changes, for some of us would recommend them for dismissal at the Judicial Conference Commission.
Yeah, you are right.
So
you are right. It will be a misconduct.
Yes, that's gross misconduct, whereby no further evidence needed. It means that if they are football fans, then there are those fans who just support as long as the buyer. If the buyer supports Manchester United, then they are also Manchester United. Tomorrow, if the buyer is Barcelona, they are Barcelona. It means such people don't qualify to be judged.
Exactly. In other words, it will shake.
That's
yeah, you are right. In other words, it will shake the integrity of our judicial system. It will shake the integrity of our judicial system.
So it means if they disqualify.
Yeah. Anyway, he made a very good point there. If indeed they are going to change this, as much as we know that President Hakainde Hichilema has appointed, some judges. President Hakainde Hichilema has appointed some judges who, some of them not even fit to be judges. And if they are going to rule in his favor, I mean, there will be, discrediting our judiciary. Hello?
Hello, Atari.
Yeah, I'm quite sure, man.
Also, I think I just want to add a word over the topic in eligibility of a president. I think number one, first of all, ishwe mbachirandaki letangaliko kinakwa abantu pabutungurusha. First, ala balo ichina. The case is very, very simple. In 2021, the court ruled that President Edgar Lungu was eligible. Now, the question that we can ask is, what is the motive behind people going for an appeal over the same case?
It's actually,
for me, I feel the person who went ahead and wanted to reopen the case, in my opinion, I think that person was sent by the same UPND.
Yes, no, Mwana, let me come in there. It is no doubt this is a UPND agenda. It's not whatever, it's not a citizen agenda, it is a UPND agenda, trying to bar Edgar Lungu from contesting. That's just what it is.
Because he gets very simple, but they don't know the repercussions of this case. They said that Edgar Lungu was not eligible. Now, okay, Lungu na people. So they are trying by all means to buy him not to stand in 2020. But Tafia Kabombe. Thanks so much for that.
Thank you. Tafia Kabombe. It won't work. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
To look South Africa. Hello?
Hello. Good evening, President Terry.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. I just want also to contribute over the issue that we are discussing this evening. looking at when they said that in Ingalato, do you know what they meant? This is what they've started now putting in place. Already they had to appoint new judges prior to this what has started happening.
Yes.
So meaning now they've already placed their people in all the positions they wanted to place them. Now they want to start fixing people. This is what we've started seeing right now. Already they've taken Edgar to court over things which was already discussed earlier on. So this is what I wanted just to discuss. It's just that we need just to be focused and be ahead of what is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, one thing I must admit is that today I was not prepared because I think I've got my own issues which stressed me throughout the day, and I can still feel I'm not. I can feel that I'm not really at my best, and you know, sometimes you need to just concede that something has overwhelmed you, and I think I'll just leave it here for now. Let me just go and sleep. Thank you very much. I apologize. We'll talk tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.